Hello! Thanks for being with me on this third out of 5 free sessions, which is a mixture of kind of Pilates and movement and a lot of PRI, really re-educating our movement patterns and making them as efficient as possible. And see, I have some company in the background. He'll be coming and going, and that's cool. Today's class is a little bit harder than some of the previous weeks. So just really do what is, because I'll always give you options, but just do the right level for you. You can try a new challenge, but make sure that you've always got control. And as soon as you don't have control, you know that that's too much of a challenge for you. Okay, right, so you're going to need with you a block and a foam roller, and I have some pebbles because of course I have pebbles, and but if you grab like a few socks, so maybe 6 socks, and I've got a couple of socks as well, and wedges that I use. So if we do things with our feet, which of course we'll do, then we'll use socks and wedges, but there's going to be touch points. So let us begin. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start off with just good old Tai Chi Sway. So feet underneath your hips. Take one full long breath in and out. Okay, soften your knees and then let your arms sway. And you're just letting that back toe lift, let your whole body toe. Great, getting slower. Really like this as a movement, just to wake things up a little bit. Start to connect. It really helps you to drop you into your breath. Okay, fab. So now we're going to do some roll downs and arm floats. So we're going to do 4, okay? So bringing your arms up. So notice that my shoulder blades are still down. I'm going to start to bring my elbows down, trying to keep them a little bit forward so I'm not dropping like that. Okay, all the way down to your arms. Just leave your head a little side bend there just because it feels really nice. Great, keep your chin down. Turn left and right a couple of times. That's just a nice little impromptu bonus. Okay, and then softening through your sternum, rolling forward. And you can hold on to your arms. Just let them sway, give you a little bit of traction. It's just a really nice way. Starting to roll back up. Brilliant. Bringing your arms up. Rolling down. So especially the middle of the back, try and keep that moving. Trying to keep a tripod of pressure, so the pad of the big toe, the baby toe, and the heel, all the way through these movements. Really letting the arms come down.
Okay, one more time. See if you can do this one super slow. Soften through the sternum. Drop through your lower ribs. Okay, your shoulders relax. Controlling the movement through your spine. Try and keep that even pressure through each foot and between your feet. Fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to do John Travolta airplanes. Okay, so Saturday Night Fever, that's the film I was trying to think of. So we're just really going to feel onto one bony bit here. So this is your sternoclavicular joint. Okay, and quite often when we get shoulder problems, so this, your clavicle, and with its two joints at this end and at this end, are a really important part of what goes on with your shoulder motion, as well as in your shoulder blades, and then all the way up into your neck. So especially because of these big muscles here. So this is a real connector between what's happening at the front, what's happening at the side, and what's happening at the top. Okay, so we're going to give a little bit of action to all of that. So we're going to do up wide, down low, cross to the side, and again. Excuse me. Okay, and the other side. We're going to cross up wide, down low, cross and across, and down and up. And we're going to do the other side again because I went out first instead of in, and I want you to go in first instead of out. I confuse myself. Okay, and then make like a butterfly with your hands and just hold on to your collarbones here, okay? Drop your chin and then just let your head roll a little bit to the side and gently look up. So you're not tipping your head up too much. You're doing a stretch through the side here. Keep your knees soft. Try and keep your breath long. Come back to the middle. Drop, roll your chin to the other shoulder, and then gently looking up. Good. And do one more in and out, out and in, arms up. Bringing them around, soften through into your roll. And the reason that I'm doing all of this is because this is a really nice way to massage all of our lymph. So if you think that you've got really important lymph up here, down this chain, across here, into your tummy, into the groin, back of the knees. So the behind the knees one, the only one we haven't attended to yet, but we've done the rest and we've allowed a little bit of a pump to get going. Okay, brilliant. So now I'm just coming forward. So we're going to go back into this kind of forward position, okay, where this roll down. But I want you to, first of all, just really feel like you're tucking your bum, draw your ribs in. Saying yes, you can see me. I've got the sun in my face, but okay. And then reach out a little bit. I'm going to come back so you don't have I don't have the sun because I think that'll mess up your view. You still got me. Okay. Okay, and then you're going to step forward with your left, your right, and your left. And just breathe there for a minute. Just try and keep those lower ribs pinned in. Slowly trying to let your heels drop down. It's okay for your back to stay round. It's okay to feel the whole of the sole of your foot. Take your left foot back half a step and just doing the same. Last breath.
So this is really using the breath to get a calf stretch. I'm just going to dim my blinds a little bit because the sun is moving. It's following me. Oops. Okay, I think that's better. There we go. Okay, couple of books so that we can do, and your block, if we've got one, or 2 or 3 books. So we're going to do the inverted position. Brilliant. That's just a really nice way to get a bit of movement and availability in our upper back. So you want a fairly vertical thigh. Okay. You can bring your elbows right in if you can. You can bring your elbows closer so that you reduce that angle and be rounder. And I find that way it's a bit easier to get the air in the top. So if you hold your shoulder blades and your clavicles down and your lower ribs at the front down, as you breathe in, you'll get more air in up here. Great, one more breath. Awesome. Okay. Bring your books to the side. You're going to keep your block. That's going to go under your left knee. So this is called a drunk bear. I'm actually going to come and kind of go side on so that you can see what I'm doing. So my left knee is on the block and my left hip stays above that knee. Okay. It's okay. I want to be unlevel. So I want my left side to be doing this because what we're affecting here is we're going to try and get more rotation to the right. So I'm kind of pushing so that with my right hand and my right knee into the ground, keeping my left hip above my left knee, and I'm pushing a little bit off here so that I'm kind of rotating to the right, and I'm trying to breathe into that position. If you think, you don't own a position until you can breathe in it, okay? So we're really trying to get, and most of us live kind of like this, so we're trying to get a little bit more of this, okay? So always breathing out, those lower ribs coming down. Breathe into your back. And you may well find it's giving you quite a stretch on the front of this arm as well. One more breath. Great. Okay. So now we're going to go into, I'm just going to change my other camera angle. I still do backups. Actually, sorry, I'm just going to move that like that. Sorry, I'll only be a minute. No, it's okay. Okay, great. Okay, so we're going into the bear plank, which is this way around. So feet against the wall. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 breaths and then jump with my feet to come between my hands. Now, obviously you don't have to do that part of the movement. Some of you are a lot fitter and stronger than me, which is great. So you guys do that movement, okay? But if you feel that you're not, then don't. Just stay with the 3 breaths, and then pause for a minute and reset for the next. So we're going to do 4 rounds, okay? So my feet are down. My heels are pushing into the wall. I've tucked my pelvis. My ribs are engaged. Heels, heels, heels. Really connect in the lower ribs. I'm landing with my heels and up. Okay, reset. So we're going to do 4 of those. 3 breaths and jump or no jump. Okay. Heels, heels, heels. Keep the pelvis tucked, the ribs engaged. It's my 3rd breath. Heels and up. Oh. Excuse me for a moment while I resolve a homeschooling moment. Egg boxes and toilet rolls. Egg boxes, I think there's some by the printer at the back, and toilet rolls, I don't think there's, I just emptied the bin, so. We'll have to wait for that bit. Is there another bit that you can do?
The egg box at the back.
Can we do that bit later? Anybody got any egg boxes and toilet rolls handy? Could you? Okay, one more bear plank jump. One more. Where am I? You guys have probably done a few already. Feel free to pause. The heels on this is the important bit, okay? It's really important. If you're not really slamming your heels into the wall to also get that co-contraction in your belly, you're missing half the exercise. Go for it. Okay, right. Okay, we're going to do dead bugs like we did last time. So we're just going to start off just trying to find this connection here. So I just want you to squeeze up a little bit with your arms. Okay, now I'm going to be really soft in my sternum. So as you kind of let that drop back and let this peel around the side, the more you can make this bit work, the more effective this is. And then as you drop your lower ribs, you see even more that I've got this effect, okay? And pull my pelvis down. Yeah, is that enough? Okay. Okay. Right, so once you've got this kind of right back with your back with your ribs engaged in your lower belly. What you've got then is that you're so stable, you should be able to just come up from your hips. So there's nothing else really that's pulling on you at all. Okay? Right. And then we're going to do, oh, I'm just kissing the wall. Okay, that's just warming up. And opposites. Nothing else should move.
If your back you're losing your back, drop your ribs more because it's really your ribs that you're losing. Which gives you a lot of clue actually what happens every day as we're working through stuff. I was aiming for 10 here. I don't really know how many I've done as usual. Okay. I'm going to reset. Excuse me. Okay. So I'm driving down my heels a little bit. I'm getting that tuck on my pelvis. I'm coming up through here, dropping my low ribs, reaching with my shoulder blade so that I've changed the angle of my rib cage. I've changed what's really active. I'm really kind of magnetizing the back of my rib cage into the floor here. Coming up from my hips only. Okay, we're going to do alternates. So that one's going out, this one's coming into my hand. I hate these. I hate these so much. It's only because my hip flexors are actually really weak. Next to my feet, that's the next thing. And if anybody else is really struggling with this, message me, because I'll give you a couple of specific exercises to help re-strengthen those hip flexors. And we'll be working on it together. You're going to have a lot of strength in this knee. Oh, I hate this so much. I look forward to the day I don't hate that. Okay, fab. Okay, now we're going to spin round so that our hands are on the wall. Okay, so be close enough, your hands are on the wall. This is called the wall bug, okay? I should be a bit closer up. Right, so I'm right up. Here we go. Okay, so pressing your hands into the wall. Again, drop through your rib cage. Oh. Okay. And lengthening your hands away, your legs away. Keep pressing with your hands. Keep that contact, traction of your rib cage. Okay, one more each side. Okay, excellent. Well done. Okay, and then we're going to go back to this bear plank. Oh, I meant to get the sliders at the ready for anybody who wanted to add that in, but not to worry. So we're going to go from a bear plank into an up dog. Okay, so we're going to go from here, so a slightly longer bear plank, to letting your body drop down and come up. Okay, so heels into the wall. So make it a little bit long. Heels into the wall, just hold it for 2 breaths, okay? Push yourself long, down, through, and push up. Coming back through,
Heels into the wall, tuck your bum, tuck your ribs. Push yourself long. Elbows, elbows, elbows. Up. Drive up with your hips. One more. Do your 3 steps forward, keep your back round. Lovely. Okay, well done. So we're going to go into the adductor squeeze we've done before. So get your foam roller, moving really close to the wall. I end up coming off the back of my mat a little bit so that I can be at my 90-90. Okay. So I want to be here. And again, my heels really pressing into the wall. I'm going to come at you a little bit closer. Okay, my heels really pressing into the wall. This rounds my pelvis. I'm dropping through my rib cage. Okay. And then we're going to squeeze the top leg back with an in-breath and squeeze the top knee down with your out-breath. I'm just going to turn it. You guys keep going. I want you to do 8, please. I'm just going to turn a lamp on here and just see if it's... Just give it a minute. Come on. Oh, it's all happening today, isn't it? There we go. Okay, I just have a feeling that that might let you see me a little bit better. Oh, for goodness sake. Come on. Come on. Okay, one more try, otherwise we're going to abandon. Come on, little lamp. You're not making enough of a difference. Nothing positive happening there. Forget about it. I think we'll stick to the other leggings because I feel like you can't really see me well enough. Okay, you guys have probably done 8. I'll do my 8 later. We flip over onto the other side and do the glute squeeze to the left. Now, if you have a band and you want that extra resistance, then great. So you pop it around your knees, like so. Okay. And 1 foot above and 1 foot underneath. Yeah, closer, closer. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm happy. Okay, so on this one, again, you've got the round at your pelvis, your ribs tucked in, okay, heels into the wall, breathe in, go forward, breathe out and up. When you first start doing this, it's really hard to keep your heels on the wall while you coordinate everything else. Okay, last one. Fantastic. I'm going to swap my foam roller for my block. Okay, and we're going to do bridge and single leg bridge on the block. So I want you to keep your heels on. Okay, drop your ribs, tuck your pelvis, heels down, keep both feet really dorsiflexed. Okay, really pulling up with those feet and coming up. Do 10, up and down. So I want you to really keep this tuck of your pelvis, that's your focus, your heels into the block, and the backs of your feet up to your head. Great, okay, bring one leg up. I'm just doing a little bit of pressure into this, not quite as hard as I was aiming for in the dead bugs. Okay. Right, my left side is my kind of really dodge side. So I'm really tucking under with my pelvis there, keeping my leg up. And I'm just keeping this little bit of contact here with my hand on my knee so that it's just a constant. Doing really well. This is a hard workout today. It sure as hell is for me. Okay, and we're going to do some toe action. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. Okay, so we're doing the same thing, but we're focusing on the toe. Yep. So this is the one, get the tuck of your pelvis first. Draw your ribs down. Okay. You're going to bring one knee up to you. You just hug it gently. Okay, and then you're going to come up, and then you're going to put your heel on the wall and lift it up as much as you can. And you're going to keep the constant pressure under your big toe. So that's the bit in particular you don't want to lose it from. If you can keep a little bit of awareness onto the outside of your foot as well, that would be brilliant. Now, when I get both, I get really wobbly, which shows that this is an important thing for me to work on. And like I said last time, it's doing this work that's really freed up my toe joints. I had a massive problem with that before. I haven't quite got the drop in the middle of my arch of my foot. Okay. Other leg. It's like meditation sometimes for me, these exercises. That's why I get stuck in them. Now what I'm doing here is, because I tend to be, my left side comes forward, that whole thing with always wanting to rotate to the right, okay? So our left side tends to drive forward all the time. So I try and, with these ones, I try and pull my left side back a little bit, especially when I'm doing single leg stuff. So you can try and do the same so that your pelvis is a bit more unleveled, like so, okay? So for me here, I actually use a little bit of pressure up into my hand here. Okay. And I'm really focusing on keeping the rotation of my pelvis onto the back of my thigh on this working side, this left side. Okay, now we're going to come back to some of these other movements in a minute, but I want you to get into a really short lunge position. So we're just going to kind of put this into a bit more of a vertical movement now. I'm just going to take this. I don't like being unlevel, so I use this little blanket. Here we go. Don't need that, but I do need this. Okay, so you can see me. The only bit that's really important is my feet. So that's enough of a step forward for me at the moment, okay? So what I'm going to do is keep, obviously, my back heel into the wall, my pelvis really rounded down, and my knee slightly bent. And I'm coming into the toe of that foot. And I'm just driving a little bit here. Okay, you only need to do about 5. Now what I want you to do is slightly bigger step. And as you come into this front foot, you should see this bit slightly dropping through. So I'm keeping my back heel to the wall, my back pelvis tucked. Okay. I just have to trust it. I want to really hold on with my toes and force the pressure back onto the outside of my foot. But if I just let it happen and relax my toes, kind of driving with that front knee, letting my body move, there's a real difference from coming down here and letting it happen to come with my knee. This is really great for all ye runners. Okay, swap feet. So the reason that I do the one on your toe first at the front with a shorter stance is because one of the things that I feel is like if you get the movements that are easier and really strengthen those, and then go into the ones that are slightly harder, you've kind of increased your whole range of movement, but it allows a stronger place to go from to get to point B, right? So that's my theory with these. So I'm driving my back heel. I've obviously got contact with my big toe. My back knee stays slightly bent. I'm tucked down with my back pelvis. And I'm on that front toe. I'm keeping that back heel. Okay. This is my toe that doesn't love that position. I would never have been able to hold this position a few months ago. Okay. So I've got my heel, my back toe, my pelvis tucked on the right, my knee soft. I'm letting this knee bend. So this is where, do you remember before I gave you an exercise where I used the rolled up socks and I kind of supported my foot in all kinds of places? I have to really focus on this side, sorry. That's a really good thing to do before this exercise because it's training that dropping effect into pronation. Our body would never have given us a movement if it wasn't a useful movement. So we don't want to anti-pronate. We don't want to stick in anti-pronation.
we have to let our body do that movement, but we also have to give it the means to come out of that movement and through the full range. Okay. Okay, right now, I'm going to take this up one more level. There's that. There's that. Okay. So I'm leaning against the wall. I'm just going to take this up a smidge. So being here, okay, I've got a tripod of pressure. I've slightly bent that back foot. I'm coming up onto that toe. I'm releasing here. So it's the same kind of thing, but because the front foot's elevated, it actually makes it just a little bit nicer. And just touch the wall. If you're fairly used to this kind of movement, then by all means, you don't have to do this at a wall. You can do it in free space and make your lunge right down to 90 degrees. Okay. Oh. Okay. So you know that you've always got the wall in front of you if you just need that security, right? So I've tucked my pelvis down, I've lifted both my heels, my back knee is a little bit soft, and I'm working with this front knee, and I'm following it. Actually do with a little bit more range of movement, to be quite honest. Heel, heel. Oh, you see, there it is. Driving with a knee. Both heels, come on, Frank. Get that heel lifted. Heel. Ooh, two more. Hoochie mama. Oh, okay. You're gonna really love me now. We're going into side plank. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, let me get my hair back out of the way. So with the side plank, you want to be a straight line, okay? Now these things that we've been talking about already with the low ribs tucked in, your pelvis kind of driving underneath onto the back of your femurs, and your bum being forward in line, because quite often the kind of angle that we end up in a side plank is this, right? And we really want to get this tucked under and driving your hips forward, and that, and then these down, and then you'll really feel the change of the challenge through here, okay? So, let's begin. You want to come here. Okay, let's go further back. It does change more light on me a little bit. Okay, I am going to be a straight line. I am going to be a straight line. Oh, I didn't use the things, the extra stones. You didn't need the extra challenge, did you? Okay. Okay, there I am. It takes me a minute sometimes to figure out exactly where my straight line is, to be honest. So I've tucked my pelvis under. I'm really connected to my ribs. If you're stronger and fitter than me, awesome. Do a long plank here, please. You can also add this baby. Or, yeah.
Great. Let's whiz around, do the other side. I haven't done this in ages, and it's surprisingly better than the last time I did it. So love it when that happens. So love it. Okay, can't figure out my straight line. There it is. Okay. Okay. I always want to put my bottom foot on a block on this side. It's much better if I do that. Okay. This is for me. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but tucking my bum down, pushing it forward, engaging here. For me, this side, it's easier to let this lift. There, it doesn't feel quite natural. But I'm much stronger here, which is fab. I love it when you're like, things are happening and you don't notice, and then suddenly you're like, oh, it's come together. Oh, good old tabletop breathing. Okay, this is really just like the dead bug position without any movement, just holding and breathing, which you'd be surprised is challenging. Okay, and breathe, 5 breaths. So I want your breath to try and come into your back. And as you breathe out, it's really long and slow reconnecting here. And you especially want to connect your left rib to your right hip. All the way out. Anchor it to breathe into your back. It's harder to breathe into your back here because you're lying on it. It's more to fight against. Great. Okay, roll over. We're going into a Sphinx. So, because as much as we do this posterior tuck, our body is made for extension as well. Okay, so it's really nice to get this open feeling. Keeping those lower ribs engaged. Don't go any higher than that. You don't need to be all the way up. It's enough for all of your body. Down. And one more. And you can push up and go into child's pose for a minute. Just let it rest. Okay, fantastic. So, hold on. So we're now going to do a little bit of standing rotations with our feet and some working with that pronation bit and working with the angles and the connections between our foot and our hip, right? So we're going to go back to that stuff, and then we're just going to do some really lovely just stretch and relax in the end. So we've got about 10 minutes left. 3/4 of that is going to be working with the feet and the hips, and then that last bit will just be a nice, oh, okay? So we're nearly there. Come on, keep going. Okay, so the standing rotations, first of all, I'm going to do it over here, I think, so that, yeah, because I'm going to do closer. Yeah, the rest of me you don't really need to see because it's really about my feet. So the standing rotation is going through like this, but you can see that on this side, okay, I'm going to leave this leg straight and I'm going to let this one bend. So this one is actually going to be allowed to fall in while this one rotates out. Oh, come on, Monica. It's snowing. I'm not very good at this, so I might not be. I'm going to go this way. So hopefully we'll see this leg collapse a little bit. Come on, Monica. Okay. It's not working. Okay, I'm going to skip that because it's not working at all and I'm not teaching you very well either. So I'm going to refine that and come back to it. One that I made up, which I like more because I can do it, is this. So if you let this leg come up, leaning into something, okay, and you're going to let that knee drop forward and you should see this bit collapse a little bit more, okay? But we want the other leg to do what it's supposed to do while this one's collapsing and dropping forward, which is come out and extend. So while it's triple movement, and while one leg does one, the other leg does the other. And you can get more extension. And I'm just going to try and use that just to, there we go. Now it doesn't just have to happen at my rear foot. I've got more happening. And you start to really feel that connection as well between your foot and your hip, because, well, certainly my left butt cheek's on fire now. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the other side. I just need that reference here. Okay, let's see how I go. Forward, let my toes go a bit more. All right, how's that? And it's worth playing around. I mean, it feels a bit fiddly, but it is really worth playing around with this because if you practice doing these movements with the blocks, it means that you don't necessarily need to walk in orthotics. You want to give your foot all the capacity that it has. Okay. And I tell you what, I really find this makes my feet and stuff work like heck. Okay, so now we're going to do the crush a grape. I don't know if you remember that from last time. So you're going to have your feet on the wall. You're going to, the one foot, just slightly lifting your heel, just letting it slide up until you feel your heel pulling away a bit more. Okay, and then you really feel like you're crushing a grape under the pad of the big toe there. You don't lose that. And it's coming out. You see, I've got a bit more. I don't know if you can see. I've got a bit more than I had last time, which makes me happy. Relaxing my toes. Great. And it's all of these things together that makes the difference. It's not just one thing. It's doing it all together.
So this leg was, I've really worked this leg now. And where this one found it easier before, I can feel the joint moving better, but the muscles are so tired already from the few things we've done today. So it just gives me so much information about what's working between the inside and the outside of my foot, the front and the back of the foot. It's brilliant. I love it. Fortunately for you guys, I love it. Okay. Okay, and then the last thing was actually the heel raise that we did earlier. I just shifted that over. So that was the hard bit, which wasn't really that hard at all, was it? Wasn't. So I'm gonna just do that. So all we're gonna do to finish off our angel wings, rolling like a ball and dead man. Okay, so here we go. Let your arms come up. Be nice and long on your mat. Hopefully your shoulders are free. If you have shoulder pain and you can't get that range of movement, just come out to the side here. Okay, and then just try and let your thumbs come back so your palms are facing the ceiling, your thumbs to the ground, your rib cage is down. You can press the back of your legs a little bit into the floor if you want to stabilize you. And you're pulling your arms down the floor for as long as you can with your back of your hand and your thumb touching. One more. Okay. It's a really nice way to massage out the back. Awesome. Let your whole body just drop into the floor. See how heavy you can make it. And if you have a minion who can bring you a blanket to put over you or a shawl, then by all means stay here for as long as you like. You could do a 10-minute meditation here as long as you're warm. Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining me. That was really fun. And I'm looking forward to next week. Please let me know how you got on with it, because it's really important for me to know how to pace it, how to put it together, what's most useful to people, how much to push people, just to give more options. Let me know, okay? Have a great week. See you.